Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam, he is Jay. We are here to talk about the one and only Keano.
Keano!
There's only one
Keano. He's magic and he wears a magic hat.
He is magic and he wears a magic hat. And he might be looking for a new suit soon because it sounds like he is becoming Celtic manager. Having managed Sunderland, Ipswich, assistant manager for Villa and Republic of Ireland, 10, 12 years ago it was he managed Sunderland.
Really?
Brought them up.
Yeah, I did all right for a bit.
From the Championship. Eventually left them when they were in the relegation zone 2 seasons later. Ipswich didn't have the best of times there. But this job, massive job if he gets it. And what's your first reaction to it? Keano,
I'm glad. Manager? It pains me, right? And I used to get this with Brian Robson because Brian Robson had a very similar thing with Keano. He went to Middlesbrough, did well at first, got him promoted, and then it just sort of all went Pete Tong for him. And then I seen it with Keano. I love Keano. He's probably my favourite ever United player, if I'm being brutally honest. And it just didn't quite happen for him. It didn't happen for him at Sunderland, didn't happen for Ipswich. Villa, it looked like he got off to a real good start. I think it was him.
Paul Lambert.
Yeah, and then all went wrong. Ireland, it didn't really work out there. I want Keano to succeed, and I don't mind Celtic. I'm all right with Celtic. Do you know what I mean? It seems like a nice fit for him. Obviously, he used to play there. That was his next club after United, of course. So I want this to work out, not because I expect him to come back to United. I'm not one of them fans who thinks one day he'll manage United. I don't know if he ever will, but I'd love to see him go there, take that title off Steven Gerrard for starters. Yes, I'm all about that. Come on. And just, this might sound a bit sort of philosophical, Macca, but just find a bit of peace, man.
Nah, you know I hear you. Find some happiness.
Yeah, because he's obviously got the know-how, he's got the experience, and we like him on Sky Sports, and I always love listening to Keano. He's good box office, but there's a part of me that feels like he don't really want to be there. He's doing this because it's paying him a wage. When Michael Richards is laughing his head off and Keano's like, I think that's a little bit serious, that Keano's just thinking, get me out of here. Do you know what I mean? When's my shift end?
Think of the check.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I do. I think he wants to be back in management, and I think that could be a good fit for him.
But it could have been, I really want to see him back in management. And we always get those people that are like, get him in at United. And it's become a little bit of a meme, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Get Keano on him, as if Keano is just angry and will solve everything. But I thought, when he first went to Sunderland, he got them promoted. And look, it may have been a Sunderland team or a club at that point that considered themselves a Premier League side. But getting promoted from the Championship as champions isn't an easy thing to do. Do you know what I mean? And for him to be able to do that with Sunderland, I thought was massive success for him. But then you kind of saw this man that couldn't deal with players that were lesser than him, not as good as him, didn't know how to maybe communicate his message and how to manage players. And you kind of saw that at Ireland. I think he had issues with Doherty, which is pulled over into his punditry. But do you think that's why he's maybe taken that time out to try and learn more about the game and try and understand more? Standing next to Martin O'Neill, who's a very good manager for so long, maybe he's learned enough to... Do you think... What I'm trying to say is, do you think he's changed in that time? Or he's going to have to have it.
Yeah, there's a funny story. I was reading I think it was Dwight York's sort of biography. I don't even know this story.
Where, about Savage?
No, that's a good one. But he said... Dwight York said he was playing for Sunderland, Dwight York, and obviously Keano brought him in, knew him from United, and they were losing a game. I can't remember what game it was. They were losing anyway. Half time, they've come in, and Keano said to his assistant, set the tactics board up. So they put the tactics board up, right? Roy Keane walks out of the changing room, come running in and flying kick the tactics board across the changing room. And everyone's sat scared, stiff. And he's like, it's not about tactics, it's about that. Do you know what I mean? But it didn't have the effect he wanted because everyone was just terrified. And you're going out on the pitch just absolutely terrified, do you know what I mean?
Shit trickling down your leg.
You can't play football like that, mate. That's not how you get the best out players. And the funny thing is, I'm reading his second autobiography because he did the first one when he was at United. I've just started reading it, so I can't give you too much in because I haven't read it. But I can see there the difference between reading that second autobiography from the first one and his punditry. He has developed a lot. He will know there's certain things now that you can't get away with because this is a guy who got punched off Brian Clough when he gave the ball away and was all right with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who, used to throw his fist about himself and used to kick off and came from that old school type of player and type of manager. And now the game has changed. Players do have a lot more power. They aren't going to.
We've seen Jose's.
Yeah.
He's a great manager who's struggling with the new.
This is why, you know, I think Ollie does get that man management thing right. You can criticise Ollie for other parts of his management if you want, but I think man management wise, he's very good at that. And I think that's what's missing from Keano, because he understands the game, obviously he does. He knows how to read the game, he's got a great understanding, and he's probably got contacts as well to get players in. He did that at Sunderland, didn't he? Your boy Johnny Evans.
A lot of ex-United
and on loanees and all that sort of
stuff.
He
got criticised for that a bit.
Yeah, but it worked for him, didn't it? And I think it was when he started making some transfers that didn't quite work out. But he's got the contacts, he's got the experience, and obviously he's got the know-how. I think it's just that part of him where he's got to be able to sort of know when to put an arm around someone a little bit rather than just kicking tactics.
It's who he has as an assistant as well. There's been links with Nicky Butt. Nicky Butt's left his position at Manchester United. There's been talk he could go in at Celtic as his assistant. It'd be interesting to see Nicky Butt and Keano up against Gerrard, wouldn't it? Imagine that scrap in the dugout.
Yeah, I would love that.
But I think
would love that so much.
It's important for him to do well, and I think we could possibly see a resurrection of Roy Keane's managerial career if he can succeed here. And the thing for him as well is he loves Celtic.
Yeah. He's
a Celtic fan, do you know what I mean?
He went there, didn't he? Because I think when he left United, obviously under that massive cloud, and was almost disillusioned with the game, wasn't he? Because of what had happened. And I don't think there's many other clubs he would have gone to. I think there was a sort of heart pulling on his heartstrings going to Celtic. Obviously, there's a big Irish connection there as well. So, you know, it was only like the twilight of his career. He wasn't there that long, was he? I think he was there about a season.
No, but he was there. And so basically, when he finished his career, I remember this. I don't know why I remember it so vividly. But before he joined Sunderland, he was linked with the Celtic manager's job for so long. Then did he get Ronnie Delia or someone like that?
Okay.
In like, I keep up with what Celtic are doing, so because a lot of my family support them, so I kept up with that. And obviously Keano being there, I kept up with him. But I'm glad that, you know, I think he's been out of the job for long. But I think him sitting back, taking an assistant manager's role, learning a little bit more about the game, probably a little bit more about people, and now going to a league where, look, he should be winning it with Celtic. Do you know what I mean?
Might as well be
so that's pressure, but at the same time, it's also maybe a good job for him where he can go there because he's a fan of the club. He'll know a little bit more about the league and the expectations and all that. And I think it could be the one because Celtic get the best players in Scotland anyway. Yeah. So then it is all about up here, innit?
I mean, it's not going to be easy for him because Rangers have pretty much walked it this season, haven't they? And they're obviously in the ascendancy.
And Gerrard's done great there.
Yeah, he has done. Obviously, after Celtic, was it 9 on the spin that the Celtic won? He's turned that around. So he's going to have to he's got his work cut out. But, you know, if he can use some of his contacts, bring in a couple of players maybe from south of the border, use the experience he's got. And like you say, getting that right assistant, the reason you make a good point about Nicky Butt, and I like that one, is Nicky Butt has worked with the academy, he's worked with young players, and maybe that is like a bit of an opposite with Roy Keane, where Nicky Butt's coming in from a place where you've had to deal with young players, you've had to sort of put their arm around the shoulder and be able to nurture them and not be all just, and that could be the perfect foil for Roy Keane, who's a bit more like, you can go out there and
Nicky
show
Butt,
what you're made of.
Wouldn't be surprised if a lot of our academy players start going.
Well, I may.
Maybe your man Jimmy Garner's going to be there.
Don't say rubbish. Jimmy Garner is going to be the number 6 for Manchester United next season. Don't you worry about that.
Check out the video we did for Paddock, by the way, about our 11s next season. But yeah, like that connection could. I don't know, does Hannibal go there for a bit of European
Because
football?
we've got players, and like no disrespect to Scottish football, but if you go from United sort of under 23s and you've got aspirations of playing for United, go to Celtic. You should be able to perform for them. You should be able to perform in the Scottish Premier League, and if you can't, then you can probably forget about a career at Manchester United. So the players like you mentioned, like Hannibal, maybe Galbraith, who's not really had much of a chance yet. I know he's still very young. Brandon, yeah, we talked about him on the video you just referenced. He's almost become the forgotten man, hasn't he, at United, and he needs football, he needs games. Solskjaer was reluctant to loan him out to a Premier League club, an English Premier League club. So maybe he would send him to Celtic for a season. And if he does well there, he can come back into the Manchester United team. So it kind of all makes sense, this. It does. Everything you said, I think, yeah, that makes sense. And also, for Celtic, Roy Keane's still a massive name in football. You're getting in a man who's like, the fans will be buzzing.
Their fans aren't buzzing though.
Really?
I was reading on Twitter.
I'm surprised
Okay,
at that.
again, people might reference United fans on Twitter. Me and you will go, don't talk about fans on Twitter, calm down. Yeah. But I was looking at some of the reaction and it seems to be they're not sure about this one. It must be hard to go from Brendan Rodgers to just, you know, who did they have? Neil Lennon, who was never great, and then just not knowing where your next manager's coming from. But I would be personally interested in it, and I'm looking to go. If you go into a game,
I'll go to the. title for him, damn mate. Can we give
In disguise.
Steven Gerrard a load of stick?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, so Keano and Celtic. He may as well be Keano.
Might as well be Keano.
You might as well be Keano. That's the title for this video sorted. Keano is Celtic's new manager, more or less anyway. The bookies have suspended betting at the moment for as much as that means. If not, I'll have to change or delete this video. But make sure you're getting your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Keano will be a success? Is he destined for Manchester United in the future? Subscribe to Jay's channel here, Scotty and Matty.
Yeah, man. Check us out.
Check it out. He doesn't do football stuff over there. So
They do though. We got James Young in now. Scotty started doing videos with James Young for football stuff. But yeah, if you want something else, bit of news and I don't know, top fives and all that jazz, check it out.
Yeah, go check that out. Keep it locked. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Thanks for 100K again. See you in a bit.